there's just my laugh.
Which is like a mix of the
Mischievous.
Okay. All right, internet friends. Welcome to this impromptu.
Oh, do I look
podcast.
at the camera?
No, you don't need to. Actually, you don't need to look at the camera. So, my name is Avi, and over the recent months, days, I've been inspired by several of my friends, like doing really cool artistic shit that's pushing me to become more prolific in what I do and wanting me to like expand my own creativity. So I'm just kind of bringing out and talking to my good friends about art, music, acting, and all the above. And so today I got Raquel with me. She's a homie.
What's up?
First time I met Raquel was the first Space Buns concert.
My first Space Buns show. Space Buns is my band.
Exactly, yeah. At Molly Malone's, right?
Yes, at Molly Malone's.
That was the first show y'all had. Yeah.
Show. We opened for another band before that.
Yeah.
That wasn't like our show. It was their show.
Yeah.
Or just like the openers. We actually signed up with this lady who kind of has a hold of time slots all around LA.
Oh, word.
And you kind of just like sign up. But the thing about LA is that depending on where it is, you have to sell a certain amount of tickets. If not, you owe money.
Yeah,
and that's something that people do not know about bands in LA, where a lot of like the Viper Room, they're not just like up there. They have to sell tickets. If they don't sell a certain amount of tickets, then they have to pay. But if they do sell the tickets and more, then they get paid.
That's why I feel like it's almost like a thing to be like internet famous before you like go out in the streets and play. But
even if you're internet famous, doesn't mean that people are going to show up and watch you do the other thing that you want to fucking do.
That's very true. And also you need to like practice your craft and build your songs live in order to have good internet content. So, but I want to introduce you.
Okay.
Raquel, you are a musician. You are an actor.
Yes.
You are a singer. You are a bass player.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Dancer. I've been a dancer since I was a little girl. I went to school for fashion design and merchandising. I used to be a costume designer and a production manager and a vintage buyer.
Let's start from the beginning. Okay.
Used to be an oil wrestler.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Everybody knows.
Oil wrestling.
I've done a lot of stuff.
Can we start from like the genesis of Raquel? Like she decides she wants to go into art.
Well, you know what? There's something about me. I grew up Jehovah's Witness.
I
grew up Jehovah's Witness.
Oh,
so I grew up kind of not being able to like do anything.
Okay.
I was never baptized, and then when I got into my teenage years, I kind of stopped going, and I got myself into dance, and that's when I started dancing. And then I became like I just was really good at just picking up.
Were you in LA?
No, this is Orlando, Florida. So I grew up in Orlando, Florida.
Okay, word.
So I grew up in Orlando, Florida, and in my teens, like 14, I put myself into like one hip hop class.
Okay.
And the owner of the studio was like, "Oh my God, she's great. You should audition to be in Company, which is like the company for the studio to compete." I've never been trained before. I was like, "Sure, why not?" So I auditioned and I got it. And she was like, "Okay, now time to train." And after that, I like had to take ballet and jazz and tap and go to classes and rehearse and compete. And then I like immersed myself in dance. But I didn't know anything. So I like literally was like from nothing to you have to learn everything.
So it's like kind of like learning about how your body's moving, kind of like almost calibrating, you know.
I mean, I guess I kind of just have a knack for movement.
Okay.
So that's why he threw me in there because I can just watch it and do it.
Okay.
And she was like, "You're great." And so then I just started doing it.
So that's teen years, right?
That's teen years.
And you're in Orlando, Florida.
Yep.
What happened?
Orlando, Florida. And I've always sang. I've always been like in choir.
Yeah.
I was in pop ensemble in high school, and we used to compete and do all this stuff in Orlando.
Yeah. We'd
go to Disney and sing the Christmas songs, and I would do it not all the Jehovah's Witnesses and my family not knowing.
Yeah.
So I've always sang because I've been in choir since I was like really, really young.
And so like,
and I started playing the guitar also in my teenagers. I started taking guitar lessons.
I feel like you're kind of like a rock star. You know, like when like because I've seen your shows and you're like
Mhm.
very like out there and like doing your thing and just kind of saying what you want to say and like your banter is fucking on point. But that's so interesting because you grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, which is kind of like
But I've always was like this, and that's
Okay.
the thing. Like I never really
Did you
fit in
find-
or anything like that because I was always like this, and they're just like,
well, okay. Did you find that like being a Jehovah's Witness caused you to be even more outlandish because you're like, damn, I'm gonna go even harder because like it's like kind of like repressed. I don't know if that's like really
yes, no, yes and no.
Okay.
But I was also like a good kid,
Yeah.
so I listened to my parents
Okay.
until like I was like, fuck this, and now I'm just getting in trouble. But I would just like not come home on time. Like that,
Oh, yeah.
like I wasn't bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, then like you're grounded or take your car away, and I'm like, good. Now I can't come home on time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I do have to say that since in my early years, I did spend a lot of time not being able to do anything,
Yeah.
not being able to go out anywhere without my mom, not being able to like do something like that. As soon as I got older and got out of the house, I'm like, I mean, still to this day, I'm like, ooh, I've never done that. I want to go do that.
Yeah.
You know, I always want to like go somewhere and try something new.
Yeah.
But it definitely comes from the first, my younger years of not being able to do anything.
Sure. So let's talk about like the move to LA.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
So
That's
okay, I
interesting.
don't know if there's a bunch of stuff in the middle there, but I'm guessing like you're doing all these artistic things and there's some LA's calling your name
Okay.
or art, music,
No,
acting,
but
dance.
maybe. So I was living in New York.
Okay, so you moved to New York before you moved to LA.
Yep. So I went
Okay.
from Orlando to New York because I couldn't get a job. I couldn't get a job in Orlando because I was like overqualified for everything. And,
Okay.
like times weren't times weren't good. You know, it's
Okay.
either like you got like a really good job or a bad job, and I was kind of like in the middle of
Yeah.
my professional career in fashion, so I couldn't really. I was either like a manager job at the mall or like it was just weird.
Yeah.
So I got a job in New York. A friend of mine was like, "Oh, I'm going to tell you you can have my job." So my boyfriend at the time,
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, I'll pay for your ticket. Go to New York." And I just went to New York, and then eventually he came to New York. So we were both living in New York. I was a production manager for an in-house production company where we would do private events and parties and everything like that for like the elite.
Damn.
Like I'm talking about, these are like bar mitzvah and bat mitzvahs that have like Ariana Grande performing and Nick Jonas performing
Damn.
and A$AP Rocky performing in Sweet 16s, like these kind of parties. And
Okay.
they'd be like, oh, we have a budget. We need 4 girls here. We need a show of these people dancing looking like this. And, and I have a budget. I look for the dancers, like cast, choreography, costuming, shopping, sewing, and doing everything within the budget to make this production happen, whether it is for somebody's bat mitzvah or it's for a TV show.
So
that's what I was doing.
I was gonna say
in New York.
That's where like I'm guessing that's where like the idea of costume design came to you. Like, hey, shit, I'm actually fucking good at this.
Well, before that, in Orlando, I was managing a vintage store.
Okay.
And there, at that vintage store, we also did costuming for movies in LA, and we would send. So like Mad Men, the first couple seasons of Mad Men.
Yeah.
I helped. They would be like send us books of the character descriptions. And we like boxed up all the stuff that we think, and we'd send them to LA, and then they would pick and then come back. So I was really already in that world of making costumes and sewing and doing that. And I was freelancing for a long time in New York, working for the company, just showing up at the gigs. Yeah. And after working for them for so long, they were like, we would love to have you come in and be our office manager and production manager. So then after years of working with them, I was just in the office with them and literally doing everything.
Yeah.
And it made me very depressed.
Oh shit! Was it because of like New York City,
like
the cold?
Well, New York does break you down.
Yeah. Because I mean,
number one, the
summer
cold,
it's beautiful, but like in the winter, it just gets.
Number one, the cold.
Yeah.
I'm from Florida. It was like the snow was cool the first year, and it was cool the second year, and I was like, oh.
I was like, damn.
Then it just like I'm outside shopping. You're taking the subway all the time. I just was over the cold.
Yeah.
I was depressed, and I shouldn't be depressed because I literally had money and the job that I went to school for, and I was kind of upset. I was kind of frustrated with the company I was working with.
Okay.
Because I couldn't go any higher.
Yeah.
And she was kind of stopping me from. They were kind of stopping me from expanding.
Okay.
So it's either like, where do I go from here within the
So-
company? So it was just, I don't know, it was just sad. It was
There comes
depressed.
the move to LA.
So I was fed up, and this is my spontaneous crazy. My boyfriend at the time was a professional skateboarder,
Okay.
and I used to film him skateboarding. So I used to
Okay.
be his filmer also.
Okay.
And in New York also I used to do FemSkate, which is a female organization. I used to throw girl skate events and stuff like that there.
Yeah.
I did all this stuff there.
Yeah.
And I literally was like, I'm so depressed. I kind of want to move to LA. And he's like, I'll go, like, whatever, just say it. I'm gonna go, you know, because he's a
Yeah.
professional skateboarder. He's like,
Yeah. Let's get
and
it.
I was like, it was snowing. I was up, it was snowing. I was looking out the window at the snow, and I was like, it just got hot, and then it snowed. And then it got hot again, and then it started snowing again. And I was just like, if it snows one more time, I'm buying a car and driving to LA. And it snowed, and I bought a car. And I quit my job, and I drove to
Damn.
LA. with my
Wait, what about your boyfriend?
He came with. He
She's
came
just
with.
like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's a good boyfriend.
I mean, yeah. I've known him forever. We were together for 10 years.
Yeah.
And he's still my best friend.
Okay. Is he in LA now?
He's in Texas. He
Okay,
should be
okay.
back soon now.
Okay. Where?
But yeah, we were friends. We were best friends before that. We moved from Orlando to New York, and he's my ride or die for sure.
Okay, so you get to LA.
We drove here
You drove to LA from New York City.
from New York City.
And what was the idea? I mean, you're doing costume design. You're
No,
doing,
no job. I just had this money, all this
Well,
money
you
saved.
have all this like.
Yeah. So I wanted to
prior
act and
experience.
dance, and I wanted to
So
pursue
you
acting.
did know.
So, oh yeah, okay, wait. Let's back it up. In New York, since I was working, so the people that I would cast
Yeah.
in the company I was working for are all like working actors on TV,
Yeah.
working models on the billboards, working musicians that are on Broadway. Like all the people in our we just had like a, what do you call it? Oh my God. We have like a
Rolodex.
database of
Okay,
all these
yeah.
actors and dancers and musicians and
Yeah, yeah.
magicians of any area and anything. And they were all like working people in the industry, like literally
Yeah.
like get off Broadway and they would come to this bar mitzvah and fucking walk around in this outfit and get like another 400. Isn't that crazy? So talking to them, they're like, Raquel, you should get into acting, you should try. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so they gave me the outlets, and that's how I got the outlets of like LA, casting networks. Have you heard of
Okay.
casting networks? So that's
No
how
idea,
I
yeah.
started getting into acting, because they told me of like the websites and where to do things to find auditions. So I went on it, and I just started I'll audition for that, and I just started showing up auditions, no training or nothing, and I showed up and auditioned for this off-Broadway show, and I got it.
Dude, that is
The first
so
time.
cool. No experience.
No, I
You're
did
just like,
it.
I'm gonna do this.
I was like, whatever. I was like, okay. Blah, 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 blah. And they're like, okay, you got it. You're in the show. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, oh my God. And then I'm like, and I'm
That's
talking to
amazing.
people, and they're like, oh, I went to school for acting. And it's like, oh, I've been an actor for 10 years. And then I was like, I just auditioned. I'm just a costume designer. I'm not an actor. They're all like, what the fuck? Because they thought I was one of them.
Jobs.
Yeah. And actually, there was a friend of mine that was in, because they had that show, and they had different days and different casts on different days.
Yeah.
And I had a friend of mine that I know from Orlando. I ran into him there because he was doing the same show too. It was so crazy. It was so crazy. So
Yeah.
that's how I started out. And then I just started going to random auditions
Yeah.
in New York, and I loved it. And I started go-go dancing also.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would go to the casinos in
Mhm.
Atlantic City. I know I used to do so, but I used to go on the weekends. I used to go to Atlantic City and take the bus over there, and I would dance at like the casinos and the clubs inside of the casinos.
Yeah.
Like Boogie Nights was a '70s club in the Tropicana,
Yeah.
and I'd go and they'd give us the hotel room for a dressing room, and I could stay there, and then I would go
Do
at
your
night
thing.
and dance. Put on an afro and dance, on the stage, 70s night, and then I would come back during the week and work at the office for costume design.
So you started doing acting and whatnot before you were in LA.
Yeah,
Okay.
I started in New York,
Yeah.
And
And
then-
more like theater based. Sounds
more
like.
theater. I did
Yeah.
some featured film auditions randomly.
Hmm.
I don't know how I got them. I don't even know how I got in the room to get them.
Yeah.
But I kind of saw it as a sign. Like, I'm like, okay, I don't know anything, and I'm still new, and I'm still
You're still
getting
doing
in.
it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was like, maybe it's something I should be pursuing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna move to LA. If it snows one more time, I'm move to LA.
Yeah,
and then I
yeah.
want to try to pursue, acting. And
Yeah. So talk me through that. Like, hey, you moved to LA.
Oh,
You
gosh.
built all this base in New York.
I
You know,
moved
you
to
have a
LA.
network. You've
Yeah.
had success. You moved to LA. You don't know anyone.
No.
You don't have these networks anymore.
No.
Or maybe you have those websites. I don't know.
No. Well, I mean, the websites, yes. Because
Yeah.
the websites are everywhere.
Yeah.
LA Casting,
But sure.
Casting Networks, there's Actors Access. And these are all like that are just acting websites, so you can submit, and they're all around the world. So like, it doesn't matter where you're at.
I gotcha. And you just make like a headshot.
So you like upload a headshot
Portfolio.
and your videos,
Mm-hmm.
and you submit, like your reels
I gotcha. Okay.
of what you have. I
So-
didn't really have much, so at first I
Yeah.
didn't have any videos, and I just came here with the money I had. I found an apartment
Yeah.
and started submitting, but then I wasn't really getting anything, and I couldn't really find a job, and then I ran out of money.
Fuck.
So then I answered an ad for dancers ad on Craigslist, but it happened to be so like it was an ad for dancers, and this lady called me. She's like, "Hey, you responded to this ad for dancers, but it's actually for wrestling."
Is this the oily
Yeah, it's
wrestling?
actually for wrestling, but we use dancers because we can train them really fast because they're able to. It's like choreography.
Mm,
It's like WWE.
Oh, I got you. So this was
So it's like
choreographed wrestling.
yeah, it's like WWE. We just
Okay.
happen to be in oil.
Okay, and
But
here
we
you
are
are.
wrestling. We are like doing these stunts.
Yeah.
I'm like climbing on shit and like jumping up in the air and slamming on the girl in the middle of the
God
ring. Like we
damn.
were doing crazy shit. So they
Yeah.
use dancers because they're athletic.
Yeah.
They can pick up choreography fast and they're tough. You know what I mean?
And here you are. You've moved to LA. You just ran out of the money that you saved,
Yeah.
and you're like, fuck, I need something.
So she was like, I know this is weird, but we're in oh my god, Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras.
Where's the Mardi Gras? New Orleans. We're in New
New
Orleans,
Orleans, yeah.
and one of the dancers had an emergency, had to leave, and one of the wrestlers had an emergency, and we have to leave, and we need a wrestler.
Yeah.
We will fly you. I've never met them. She's just like on the phone, and she's like, she has a really thick accent, like a southern. She's
Southern
like,
drawl.
all right, we will send you. We will bring you over here. Everything's safe. I'm Mama. Her name was Mama. Her name was not Mama, but they called her Mama. And I'll pick you up, and everything's gonna be fine. Da, 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 da. And I was like, I looked at my boyfriend. And I was like, fuck it. I mean, like, so they sent me a ticket, and I got on a plane, and I went to New Orleans, and Mama picked me up, and just started going on tour, and they trained me on tour.
Like you went all over the country oil wrestling.
Yeah. So we do tours, like 2-week tours,
Yo,
1-week
that
tour,
is
all around
wild.
the Midwest, like Texas and Oklahoma and all the like farmer towns and the bars, and like it was a thing.
Was it like WWE where it was like super like soap opera, like you kissed my girl?
kind of? It didn't have.
I'm gonna beat
It was
you
more
up.
like they introduced us, and we have like these characters,
Okay.
kind of like WWE,
Yeah.
you know. But it's more like, hi, I'm cute, and then we wrestle. When we wrestle, that's when the drama comes in, because like we would like with the referee, like something
Yeah.
happened, the referee do a call. We're like, "Fuck you, referee!" ah!"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's when those antics would come into play.
Sure.
More
Okay.
something like we're cute,
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
we're like beating each other up.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So crazy, I know.
So okay, how long did you do this?
I did this for like a year, but like not.
Just
It was
traveling
on and
around
off.
the country.
I would like go for 2 weeks, come back for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or go for a week and come back for a month.
Yeah.
Money depends on shows, how much we made, and I did that until I was like, okay, I'm never in LA, and I came to LA to be an actress, so I just need to
Okay.
stop wrestling.
Yeah.
Did for like 6 months, I think.
6 months. Yeah.
I need to stop wrestling and like just be in LA. So then
So you did that. You come
so I
back
did
to LA.
that. I went to LA, so just looking for jobs.
In
And then I
acting.
was like, in acting, I couldn't really find any, so I looking for like serving jobs, and that's when I first became a server and a
Okay.
bartender.
Okay.
And so then I started bartending and just submitting to stuff, and
Yeah.
I would do some like some local producers or local filmers and writers
Yeah.
would like hire me to do some of their projects.
Sure. Yeah.
I would only do those little things,
Yeah.
and worked as a server for a while, for like 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, as a lot of folks are doing, to make their dreams happen. It's like,
I mean, there's people that are on TV that are still working those jobs.
Yeah, yeah. It's really about like how much you want it, you know what I mean, and how much you're willing to like
A
go
lot.
through and sacrifice to ultimately see the vision that you see yourself
It's
in,
interesting
your artistic vision.
world,
Yeah.
especially now. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's actors are still on strike, but
Yeah, that was actually one of my questions for you also, but that I feel like that's gonna come later. I still want to dwell. Okay, so wait, so you're doing serving and you're trying to find these acting jobs. You're trying to find
yeah, I'm submitting online.
Yeah. So
Just
what?
submitting online.
When's your first big break?
I mean, I really haven't had a big break.
Well, so you became a set designer here, or like a costume designer here.
No, I was
Oh,
a
that was
costume
in
in
New
New
York.
York.
That was in
Yeah,
New York. Okay,
here
okay.
I'm just doing that, and then I met friends dancing, and I started doing projects with them, and I was like watching TV, and I was like, oh, no, things suck nowadays. Like things aren't like they used to be as funny. It's a different.
I
type
feel
of
like
funny.
you have had some big shit
Well,
happen. Like okay, the most recent thing I would say is like your King Bach collab.
Yeah, I did
Dude,
do that.
That's fucking huge.
I guess so. Thank you.
When I was watching that, I was like, I've seen this before. Because I think you'd posted like a story or something like that.
Well, yeah, because he didn't post the whole video on the Instagram. He posted the whole video on YouTube, and he did a teaser on Instagram. And so I kind of, because it was Halloween, I kind of screen recorded it and posted like half of the video.
So like nonchalant, like, oh yeah, I did this fucking amazing short with one of like the top comedians.
Yes.
In LA, on the internet, like, dude,
he's a legendary for sure. He's amazing.
I would say that's like a pretty big break.
Yeah, true. I guess
that's a huge break.
It is. I don't think of it like that. I guess big break is like, oh, feature film and money and
yeah. I guess so. I mean, like
carpet, but
I'm talking more like artistic. Right. Like artistically, I saw that when it first came out, and I thought it was fucking hilarious, and I had no idea that was you. And then I was looking at like your acting, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Raquel's killing this. Like this is wild.
Thank you. And at first, when I wasn't getting any like real jobs, I would pick up stuff like that where I would submit to like Instagram videos, and YouTube videos, and a lot of them would be comedians. So I've worked with a couple of comedians randomly because I'm great at improv. And I'm great at being the crazy girl or the other woman or the wild one. And surprisingly, it's hard. What I've heard is hard to find actresses and actors that are great with just improv out of the whim. And don't need to be prepared.
Well,
I don't need to be prepared.
That makes sense because even in your shows, like for Space Buns, like I feel like you guys have your songs, which are also like almost like little stories or like little motifs, like about the beach or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good word. Motifs. They are kind of like motifs.
But then like between your songs, you guys are like pretty much doing improv comedy on stage.
So Zoe is like the first time I ever like wrote a pilot sketch was with Zoe.
Yeah.
And a couple other friends, and we wrote a pilot about these 4 witches, and that's the first time I wrote, and that was with her. So I've worked with her in a lot of those aspects, and we're very comfortable. We're really good. We have really good chemistry, which is fun.
I think improv is a lot about chemistry also, because you have to like kind of bounce these ideas, but also be like affirming to the other person's ideas and grow the idea in that way, right?
Yeah. The give and take. I love it when it's so funny.
I'm sorry. I want to circle back to the King Bach thing. Like,
okay,
how the hell did? So how did you get that break?
Oh gosh.
Like,
so it's
did you
kind
just
of this is very
it?
LA. No, I mean I work with comedians, so he was like, "Raquel, you act, right?"
Wait, King Bach just messaged you? I don't know.
No, I was at work. I worked at the Laugh Factory.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So I know. I just from working at the Laugh Factory for years.
Yeah.
I know a lot of comedians. And we hang out after. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like a thing. And he was like, Raquel, you act, right? And I was like, of course I act. He's like, can you do a Possessed Girl on Sunday? And I was like, easy.
Yeah.
Possessed Girl, easy. And he's like, all right, see you Sunday. And that was it. So it's very LA, and it's true. It depends on who you know.
Wow.
And that's like such a true thing. And I learned that now I hardly even submit. I do submit to stuff that I see.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of trying to just get out there and meet more people because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how fucking good you are. It just, if you're consistent pushing stuff out, people are going to pay attention to you because you've been out there for so long.
Yeah.
Or it's who you know and you just get to land a gig. unfortunately, sad to say.
Yo, that's some
I mean,
real
of course you
advice.
can submit and get stuff,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
Yeah.
if you know somebody, they'd rather cast you
Yeah.
because they trust you than some random person. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
100%. So this is actually a really good, like, maybe to like younger artists or like actors or aspiring people out
Connect
there.
with people.
Yeah, but it sounds like one of the important factors in like things kind of working out or you growing your network was like working at the Laugh Factory. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, I went in there because I was doing stand up for a little bit
Okay.
and I wanted to learn more.
Yeah.
And then I went in there and I stopped doing stand up. Which is like backwards, but I still learned a lot with my writing.
Okay.
So that's when I started doing more sketch writing other
Okay.
than writing for stand up.
Sure.
Because I was like, this is fun, but I really have all these ideas for like a show or sketches, constant ideas. So I started like really
Dreamworkers.
like that one where I
okay.
did with and the same girl that I acted with that we wrote a whole show.
Yeah.
We wrote a whole show and we just filmed. I'll show you after we turn this off. A proof of concept, and it's just a scene from the pilot of the show we wrote.
Yeah.
And we have everything. We have the whole package to sell. We like made a whole package so we can sell to like a network or see if we can get picked up. And we've been working on that for 2 years, a year and a half.
Goddamn.
Something like that. And we're just getting the proof of concept from sound. So, and then we wrote that sketch also that because we thought it would be fun.
Yeah, and then now that you have like your network kind of more tied in, maybe you could use that to like distribute it. I don't know.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, we still want to try to. We're still going to pitch our show.
Yeah.
See if anybody picks up.
Mm-hmm.
If not, also submit the proof of concept to maybe festivals or maybe something like that. We're trying to see where we go with that show. Other than that, I love writing sketches. I love writing anything funny, and I have a lot saved up. So lately I've been thinking I'm just gonna start recording myself, like I'm doing the characters.
Yeah.
Like instead of like getting people in, like I have this Bread Eaters Anonymous sketch that I really have women.
Yeah.
You know, it's like AA.
Just like kind of like
with
reels
bread.
and like.
Yeah, with like reels and then pushing out sketches just because they're all sitting there.
TikTok.
And it's so hard to get people. Well, you know what? I'm a horse girl on TikTok.
What the fuck is that? What's a horse girl?
I put sketches, I put dance videos, I put all sorts of stuff. Nothing.
Yeah.
Horse video, me talking about horses.
Yeah. Just
everybody. Yep.
They eat it up.
So I don't know. I'm a horse girl on TikTok, which makes me totally okay.
Hey,
actually,
you gotta go with what they want. You know, gotta feed them what they want.
Acting in my Instagram, my acting stuff on Instagram really takes a hit, but not on TikTok for some reason. I don't know. I don't know why, but
yeah.
But so I'm gonna start doing that and just recording myself for my sketches and just putting them out there.
So, like, I guess one question I had for you is like, so do you see yourself more in films or theater moving forward?
Films. I'm definitely a film chat.
Yeah, you're trying to get more into films. Okay.
Yeah, I want to.
And that makes sense.
I've done a lot of short films.
Yeah.
But I'm getting into featured films. I 100% believe in myself that I'm great at it.
Yeah.
I just need that.
Yeah.
But you never know when it's gonna happen.
So, are you like pitching yourself through the websites that you were talking about?
I just submit. So you submit. So like Casting Network, still like, or Actors Access, they put ads up for like the movie, featured film, the character, and then you submit to the character. You have your photo, your headshot, and then your reels. And then you audition.
What about agencies? Isn't that
so I have a commercial agent right now, and I do a lot of commercial auditions, but I don't have a theatrical agent. The theatrical agent is what you would need.
So you need
for
like 20 different agencies.
Oh yeah, or management too. Which I'm just like,
wow.
I've been doing short films for years, and I recently just finally got a little bit of footage.
Okay.
Because I've done all this stuff, but like people are like submitting them to festivals and they can't give me the footage, or like they're still working on it, or they never finished it, or like whatever. So like I'm just now getting clips that you see where it looks like I'm in that are very professional and good that I'm putting together to submit to a theatrical agent.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, I can pick. If I just get lucky and somebody sees me and likes my stuff, I can get a feature film also.
Yeah.
It's all by chance, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am looking into getting a theatrical agent.
How does something like that work? How does something like getting an agent work?
Well, I got my commercial agent. He found me on the casting network.
And that's probably what's best, right?
Sometimes.
To find someone yourself is probably...
What's best is whoever your agent is, they should believe in you so much, because you really don't get anywhere unless your agent believes in you, because he's going to push to get you somewhere. Because, you know what I mean? Like, that's the casting director is like, you're going to love her, you're going to love her, you're going to love her. And, you know, because that person is the one that's probably going to get the job, other than like the thousands of submissions that they get for, you know what I mean? Like, so at the end of the day, that's why I don't have a theatrical agent, because I just don't want to just have one to have one.
Right.
I want one that's like, you are it. I believe in you, and it's gonna push. It's gonna see me for what I have to give. Yeah. Because my commercial agent just sends me like tons of Mexican mother commercial auditions, and I don't know if you know that I'm probably not gonna book a Mexican mom commercial, because here all the women are Mexican and they look like I don't look Mexican.
The competition is tough,
and it's different type of Spanish, and I'm just like, so it's like you can have an agent and get nowhere.
Damn.
If he doesn't really understand and believe that that's so not having an agent is not just like magic.
Like, do you almost like go in to like an agent discussion and be like, listen, this is what I'm looking for?
You know, I really
or is it more like...
I should, yes.
Yeah.
I should. But I tell my agent and he doesn't. Like, I skateboard, I play the bass, I can play the guitar, I dance, I do so many things, and he never submits me for any of those. I write horses. Like, he never submits me for any of those things. Just like maybe improv, funny girl improv, stuff with low voices. I'll get a lot of stuff going, but she has a low raspy voice, or funny girls, great comedy sense, great comedy timing. I get a lot of those commercials also, but he never really sends me this, like, I know how to ride a horse, I can skateboard, I can do a lot of stuff, and I don't ever get any of those. So
looking ahead, you're thinking you're gonna get a theatrical agent.
Yes.
You're gonna post more.
I'm gonna push out more of my content, because I'm learning to be a better writer every day.
Sure. Yeah. Let me ask you this: like, obviously, maybe Mexican mom may not be the one, but like, what are some roles that like you really enjoy or really have enjoyed playing?
So, I mean, other than being possessed, I play a great vampire.
Okay.
All supernatural things I'm really good at, I guess, because I'm really free with my body movement, that I'm just great at.
When did you play a vampire?
In a short film.
Oh, hell yeah.
Played a vampire in a short film. I think I posted it.
Was it like Twilight kind of?
No, it was, I was a nurse, and there was something crazy happened in the hospital, and I got bit, and I went home, and I turned and tried to get my husband, but he ends up killing me at the end. Which is really kind of cool, because it's like me crying, and then he's like, just like blood squirting everywhere. And I'm like, it was fun. It was fun. It was exhausting, but it was fun, because the fight, like, I'm like jumping, and he's throwing me, and like, it was fun playing a vampire. It's cool. But I would love to be like action. I grew up doing Aikido and Jiu-Jitsu. My dad's a sensei.
Oh shit.
So I love to fight. So I was doing stunt training for a little bit.
Oil wrestling.
I know how exactly. So I do love action comedy movies. So I would love to be in action comedy movies. That would be my focus. Other than playing a vampire and a witch. I mean, I get that a lot. I'll get vampires, I get witches, possessed girl, crazy girlfriend, the other woman. I get a lot of the... So I would love to be like...
Let me ask you this. Like, how long do these like acting days last? So like that vampire movie, like how long were you there?
The short films are different, because short films tend to be from 5, 10, 20 minutes.
Okay. So
short
it's like
films.
probably like 5 hours.
So not days.
5 days.
No, like 3 days, 2 days,
Okay,
3
3 days.
days.
Okay. And you're there all time, the whole time, 24/7.
No, just a day and then go home and then
How long is your day?
depends how much we get done.
Yeah.
Because you got the crew. It depends on the cast. Like there's 2 of us. Like I know when I did the short film when I was a vampire, it took like 2.5 days from like 7 in the morning to 9. It just depends.
Yeah. Okay.
Depends on the shots they get. Depends if their shit. It all depends.
Yeah.
You can't really say
Yeah.
how many takes you do.
Yeah.
The lighting. Oh, you're always waiting for lighting.
I always try to think about like acting and movies and short films and theater as like in conjunction with like my music.
Mm-hmm.
And like I would say for any given recording it could take like anywhere from 5 hours to like a whole week to produce, write, you know.
I'm just
record.
getting into recording.
Would love to help
Very
you there.
new.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's completely different.
It's like a whole nother world I've never even knew. I was like, what?
The best way I
Why
would
am I
say is like
nervous?
on camera versus theater. You know, like a theater, your actions are huge. On
Yep.
camera, your actions are like
more
a little bit
minimal.
more. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's very similar. Like on stage when you're singing, completely different performer than when you're like recording.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was just curious to see if like acting is similar. You know, if it takes like 500 hours for a short film, and then like
depends
obviously
who's running the gate, who's running it. And a lot of people, you'd be surprised, don't know what they're doing. They're just doing it. A lot of people have no idea what they're doing, but the fact that they're doing it gets them somewhere. That's why a lot of people in positions are not necessarily the best, but they just did it and consistently did it, and so they got there.
Yeah. Because like you built your network as you were doing it. Yeah.
And people talk about doing shit all the time, but they don't do it.
Let's talk about comedy sketches and improv.
Okay.
Obviously, you work at the Laugh Factory, right?
Yeah.
Was trying to get into that, like into comedy and into improv, was that part of like your decision to work there, or were you always like looking for it?
I wanted to listen and learn.
Okay.
So being in the environment.
Yeah. And have you?
And I wanted to meet people.
Yeah. Are you in any improv troops?
No, I'm not. I stopped taking that. I stopped taking my acting and improv classes, and I started taking horse lessons.
Hey, it's better for the content, though.
Because it's like the same amount of money, and I was like, I left my acting and improv class just because I wanted more.
Yeah.
And I wasn't happy with the improv atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
I was writing. I was already like, oh, and this, and this, and that, and that's a whole other thing. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But so I kind of like took a step back.
Yeah.
It was like, this isn't doing me what it wasn't serving me as well as it was before.
Sure.
Where I'm at my level now. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take a step back.
So it did help.
And I started writing with my friends.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm focusing on that, and then I just took that money and started taking horse riding lessons.
Sure. But you'd say like to a certain degree it did help you like
100%.
get to like
100%.
Okay.
I learned so much in those classes. I learned so much.
Yeah.
We did where we learn a scene, and then we do it. But the beginning of the class, the first hour of the class was just improv, and she did a certain type of improv, so it helped me out a lot. I learned so much. But when you learn in school, that's why there's levels. You get to a certain level, and then I kind of just was like, oh, I need to go higher, but I couldn't really go higher there.
Yeah.
So I kind of like took myself out of it.
So you took yourself out, but you started like kind of
then I started
writing your own stuff.
Yep.
Tell me about that. Like, how's that going? Where's that going? And like, what are you planning with all that?
So I wrote more last year than I did this year.
Yeah.
But
that was like the DreamWorkers era, right?
So now that I did that, now I have all these sketches. So I keep revamping them, and I'm just like trying to push myself to make them.
Okay. Yeah.
To like do it, to just do it. I've been saying I'm going to film this like Bread Eaters Anonymous for like almost a year, and I still haven't.
Yeah. Like you have the scripts and like the ideas, the cinematography, all that down.
I just have to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it's just like the thing with life. Like you just gotta do it.
Sometimes you need like kind of a break. You need kind of like a reset, you know, a cleanse.
So my next step is to record these sketches that I wrote last year.
Yeah.
And now also I'm writing more. I'm learning how to write songs and music.
That's
so
right. Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. So I'm just kind of like trying to
Yeah. I feel like
balance it because now I have the band now, and so I was like, okay, I'll just like the old sketches I have, I should revamp them and work on them, film them.
Yeah.
You know, as I'm doing this music stuff, and then when I film them, push them out, then I can like work on new ones. I feel like it'll push me.
Yeah.
I did it. I finally did it. Let me do more. You know.
Yeah.
And
it's like I feel like because you're progressing pretty well with Space Buns as well. Like you guys are getting shows and like.
I'm so excited.
I mean, since the first time y'all played and like watching y'all the last time, like we played that show together as well. Like I think
acoustic set. You know what's so funny?
Yeah.
The acoustic set we did.
Yeah.
For Ford's event.
Yeah.
We had a different drummer, which was really great, but it was just so interesting to hear our songs acoustic, like with an acoustic guitar, and I forgot what she had a drum box.
A djembe thing.
It's called a
cajon.
Cajon. She had a cajon.
Yeah.
Cajones. She had a cajon, and I had my electric bass, and it sounded so good. We sounded so good. I was like, oh my god, our voices, like something about it was so cool, and I thought it was just so interesting.
Maybe it's also just like the different feel because you know you were used to like a different
drummer.
Yeah.
Maybe that.
And then like it was a completely new feel, and it gave your songs like a newer life.
So with those recordings, I'm definitely going to put it on YouTube, and we're starting our website so we can submit to more. So we can submit to like festivals and more stuff. But yeah, we were talking about writing.
No, I'm just yeah. I was asking you like where you're going with your improv, your sketches.
So yeah, I'm gonna film them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna film and push them out there to the world because I feel like they're funny. And there's not a lot of funny stuff. No offense to anybody who makes content.
Yeah.
But I've been watching some videos and I'm just like.
I mean, yeah, comedy. I feel like
this has how many views? This is not even funny.
Yeah, I feel like comedy has to be like. I mean, you're either funny or you're not. Like.
Yeah.
I don't really. Can
like Jim Carrey is.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey can literally say one word and laugh because he's funny.
Yeah. Whereas, like, I feel like serious acting can be more accessible. Like, I don't know.
Being funny is hard.
Yeah, very. You also almost have to create like an atmosphere about yourself that, like, wow, this person's fucking hilarious. Because I find myself laughing at shit from someone that, like, I just know they're funny. So, like, I'm just like waiting to laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, it's true because I watch people on stage and they'll just say something and people are laughing. I'm like, that's not funny, but he's funny. So people laugh. But also trying to be funny makes you not funny.
Yeah.
It's like a whole thing.
So we're kind of like at the last end of my questions.
Okay.
But I wanted to give you a chance to like kind of plug yourself, like, hey, follow me on this, that, check out this, that. And then 2, for anyone that's like watching that's like
That's so silly.
That's, you know, like from the time that you know, were in New York and you were just coming to LA with nothing, like what kind of advice you would give to them? Oh. So 2 things. You could start with like, hey, where can we find you and your work and your improv, your comedy sketches and your band?
Okay.
And then like advice.
So you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram is Raquel Mayrine M. It's RAQUEL MAIRYMM.
Okay.
And that's my name, and that's where I push out my acting content. I used to model any modeling photos that I might still do randomly with the photographers I know. But definitely stuff I wrote and all my acting content will be on Instagram. The name of my band is Space Buns. Space Buns with a Z is our Instagram, and I promise you will always have a good time at our show.
Certified.
And I promise you will probably leave singing some of our songs, even though you've only heard them once. And you can see me on the big screen next year. No,
hell yeah! Cheers to that, my dude.
Oh! Cheers! Oh yeah, I have to drink. My TikTok is horse girl content, so if you like horses, I I love riding horses.
We're going
And
viral
that's
for horses.
Star Renegade on TikTok. Star Renegade on TikTok for horses.
How do you spell Star Renegade?
Just StarRenegade. Just
Okay.
Star.
Yeah.
It's like,
Hell yeah.
I wish
Okay.
that could be my name, Star Renegade, and then just
Horse
in
content.
space. Yeah, horse content.
It's legit. She takes lessons.
If you have a horse, call me. I will ride your horse. Your real horse.
I thought that was.
Like a real animal horse.
I thought you were saying something else there.
No, like a horse. 4 legs.
Okay.
That's just
All right, cool. Hell yeah, dude.
And so any advice? You know,
Yeah. Okay. So.
there's one thing that I do want to say.
Yeah.
It's something that I didn't really do most of my life because I grew up in an atmosphere where I was very sheltered.
Yeah.
And it was like, don't talk to, don't do this, don't do that, don't do whatever. Talk to everybody. So I was always afraid to bug people. And working in different places, watching different people from different levels of the industry, I've noticed that a lot of people get far just bugging people for something.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to do that. They're going to hate me or
Mm.
whatever.
Mm.
But just talking to everybody and constantly reaching out, keeping you on their minds, reaching out, asking them questions, just like, even if they don't even like you, gets you places.
Mm.
Which is something I'm still trying to learn how to do.
Yeah.
So I would suggest trying to make as many connections. Don't be afraid to reach out to that person and then reach out to them again and then reach out to them again and try to make more connections and talk to more people. Because as people grow in the industry, as we grow,
Mm.
the people you know will grow too, and you never know who's going to end up where, and that's how you get to it's all who you know. And don't be afraid to just do it and put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be great at first, but how do you learn how to do anything?
Right.
Get a skateboard, you don't just get on a skateboard and fucking do ollies.
Yeah.
You got to practice.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do it because you're bad at it and you don't want to put it out there, so you might as well just do it.
Yeah. Put yourself out
Put
there.
yourself there, talk to everybody, make as many connections as possible, and literally just do it consistently.
Maybe try to work in a place where, folks that are actors, entertainers,
Maybe
whatnot.
it depends.
Yeah.
Depends on what you're. Everybody's so different.
Yeah.
Because some people but they're not like.
They don't want to network. Yeah.
Yeah, like just networking is it.
Yeah.
Networking is a big part of it.
So let's say you're an actor, dancer, comedian here, and you don't know nobody. What were those websites that you?
Okay, so there's Actors Access.
Actors Access.
There's Casting Networks.
Casting networks.
There's a lot of ones right now. There's Frontier.
Frontier.
What other ones? Oh, Backstage.
Backstage. I know about Backstage.
Backstage
Yeah.
is great for everything.
Yeah.
And when I used to look for people, I used to just go backstage and just do the search engine
Yeah.
and just look for people and just like ask
Yeah.
them. So Backstage is a great one too.
Yeah.
And all those, you do have to pay for it, and it's not a scam.
It's not a scam. Like you can actually get work.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have to submit like crazy
Submit like crazy. Like how
Like,
much?
you know,
What's crazy?
all day.
Like
Like
500
people,
things
like
a day.
if you talk to the actors, they're like they wake up and they're through their emails. They're looking through castings. They're constantly submitting. Like you walked in today, I was submitting to
Yeah.
because it goes by so fast and you got thousands of people. You got everybody submitting to this thing.
Wow. Yeah.
And then also, if you want an agent, find an agent that you think is great for you and reach out to them. Keep reaching. Just reach out to these people. Don't wait.
Yeah.
You could be found, but don't wait to be found.
Yeah. What do you mean by reach out to people and
Like-
find an agent? Like how does
like,
one just
you
find
email
an
them.
agent?
Like
Like you
whoa.
research like agencies
Yeah,
and
research
okay.
agencies, research actors that are like you and see who their agents are. IMDb, you go on that has a lot of information and other people's information on there.
Because you mentioned like there's agents for commercials, there's agents
Theatrical.
for theater,
And then there's theater, theatrical agents, which
Yeah.
is for movies. But then there's management, which
Yeah.
is a whole different thing.
yeah.
I'm not even gonna go there, but
Okay. And then the other things you'd need is your headshots,
you have to have headshots
and then potentially some film
Reels.
like,
of you acting, 100%.
and then maybe an interesting bio, maybe.
They don't ask for a bio.
They don't care about that.
When you submit, maybe like write something.
Yeah.
There's like a little comment section when you submit.
Yeah.
I would suggest to always write something
Yeah.
to grab their attention because the way they view it, it's like they view the submission as like a page with like all these little photos and all these little words.
Yeah.
So it's like you you should always write something. Submit as fast as possible. Write it
as much as possible.
as much as possible.
Yeah.
Also, because you gotta understand, there's casting directors. And there's a lot of like one casting director can be casting for a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're constantly coming up, they start to get to know you. They're like, oh yeah, like I'll get commercials auditions from casting directors, from an agent that are like, oh, we loved her. I didn't get the commercial, but they loved my audition. But I just there's a lot of people.
Yeah,
I didn't get it. She would be great at this, and this.
Try it out for this.
You know what I mean? Because she's stunning, and I get a lot of those. I don't get any of them, but they think of me because I've done. You know, it's just just keep going. Just keep going.
Keep going.
You never know when it's
Yeah. Do it for the love, the passion.
It is. Yeah, and if you're doing it for fame, stop.
Yeah.
Go home.
It's gonna be. It's
Because
you're
the
gonna burn
fame
out.
is not.
Yeah.
No, the fame is not gonna make you happy.
Yeah.
The fame's not gonna make you happy.
Yeah.
I do it because I'm kind of just like this, and it's a really, it's like an atmosphere where I can be truly myself, and nobody and be like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? When I'm like, I act the way I act, and people are like, oh, you're doing, I'm an actress, I'm in a band. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And she's, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm an accountant. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, girl, calm down. You're too much.
Yeah.
I'm more acceptable of who I am, and on set, oh my God. I can just be me 100%, and everybody's like, perfect, yes. You know what I mean? Where like in regular life, you can't really be like that without people kind of being like, girl.
Yeah.
Or, so that's why I got into it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can be like, oh, the truest me ever at any given time, and dramatic and this and do that, because I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And also, like, that's really going to speak to your longevity as well, you know? Like, the amount of time you're going to be in this game. And
that's why those actors are, they get depressed, and they say, drugs, leave me alone. Because they probably did it for other reasons. They probably wanted to get there for, like, fame and money and attention. But that's not going to make you happy.
Okay, final question.
Hold on.
Who is your favorite actor or actress?
Who is my favorite actor or actress?
Yeah.
Oh my
like
God,
you look up to this person.
You see,
you modeled your, like, I don't know, maybe your acting. No.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. Dude, that's a badass motherfucker. Right
I love Jim Carrey. I love Jim Carrey so much. I watched a lot of Jim Carrey growing up.
Yeah. I feel like you have a
very
boisterous energy, kind of like Carrey.
I don't. I love the women on SNL.
Okay.
I don't have a specific, so I've never been that person where I'm very specific.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I mean, of course, who doesn't love Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm only a woman.
Yeah.
But, like, as of idolizing or trying to become, I've never, because I'm, like, weird, right? I mean, everybody is weird, but I've never been like anybody.
Do you have a favorite film?
So, yes, I'm a couple. Stardust is one of my favorite films. It's a great movie if you've never seen it.
Okay. Stardust. I don't think I have seen it.
It's a good one.
Okay.
It's a kind of a fantasy film.
Okay.
It's a very good film, though.
Okay.
You should watch it.
I'll check it out.
Stardust is a good one.
Who's like the main?
I don't know. Michelle Pfeiffer's in it. She's a witch.
Okay.
Oh my God, I forgot her name. I'll tell you right now.
Stardust.
Claire Danes. Those are like the main people that you would know as famous actors. There's Claire Danes and Henry is in it. Anyways, Stardust is a great movie. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is one of my. Have you ever seen that one?
I've read that book.
Watch the movie.
Yeah, the movie.
Most stuff is in the movie. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah,
it's just so different. One of my favorite. When I was younger, The Fifth Element was one of my favorite movies. I love comedy.
Yeah.
And seriousness with action.
You haven't said any Jim Carrey movies. I
mean, I love Jim Carrey. But his movies are like not my. Like they're not like my favorite movies, and I don't like the movies because of the actors in it. The actors are great in it, but it's just the whole concept of the dynamic of all of the actors and the funny and the serious and the action and the that's what I love. We're like, Jim Carrey is fucking funny as hell, and he's amazing.
Yeah.
All his movies are great. I mean, Liar Liar, like all of them are. Ace Ventura I watched Ace Ventura over and over again as a child. But as of like my favorite movies are kind of those because I love fantasy and I love action and comedy and seriousness and travel. Like when you watch those 2 movies and you'll understand why they're just very different. Also, just the format of it.
Yeah.
And how it's presented is just different than normal movies. And that's why I love it.
Cool. I'm gonna have to check them out.
You have to.
I'll let you know.
So good.
Dude, hell yeah. Again, if y'all enjoyed that, check out Raquel, check out her work. My name is Avi, and again, I'm just doing this to like get more inspired by my friends who are also pushing their creative boundaries like Raquel is. And it's just inspiring to kind of get this energy from my friends, you know, that are doing different things like acting, dancing, oil, wrestling.
So my old age band. Oh wait, I have one more thing to say.
Okay, yeah, say it. Any last words?
Wait for truck.
LA.
Just serious. Believe in yourself, no matter what. Period. Because once you have doubt, just believe in yourself. Just move forward.
100%
believe in yourself. 100%. Just believe in yourself. In anything.
I love that. That's the best way to end this podcast. Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself. Find it in your heart to believe in yourself.
I don't want to knock that over.
Dude, that's an hour of like.
You picked a great person.